Today we're going to make smoked harissa and red pepper lamb. Today is all about the lamb. Spring lamb. It's going to be on dinner tables up and down the country, so I want to show you how I make my roasted red pepper and harissa lamb using this beautiful rub from Smoke Club, which is harissa lamb. This goes absolutely perfectly with any cut of lamb, be it kebabs, steaks, or we're going to be doing half a leg here. So all we're going to do is take some of this, a jar of red peppers, a bit of olive oil and some mint, whack it in the blender, and that's going to make our marinade. So let's crack on with that. Red peppers first, we're going to go in without the brine, so just pick them out, we'll drain them and just pop them into a blender. Next in, we're going to go in with some olive oil. We want about 2 or 3 tablespoons of oil. Next, we're going to go in with our harissa rub. We don't want to be shy with this, we're going to go in with a good couple of tablespoons of this because we want it to really pack some flavour into that marinade. So we're just going to get some of that, maybe 3 tablespoons in there. And then we're just going to round it off with just a little bit of mint. So we're just going to chuck some mint leaves in there, not too much, because we're going to make a nice kind of mint salsa verde to go with it. So that's going to help it all come together nicely. And then we're just going to blend this up and set that to one side while we prepare our lamb. So onto the lamb, all I've done is taken a sharp knife and I've just scored this into a nice kind of crisscross diamond pattern. That's going to help the fat to render out. It's going to give us more area for that marinade to penetrate as well. So we've scored that. So now what we're going to do is take our marinade. Now I've got half a leg of lamb here. You can of course use a whole leg. The marinade is enough for a whole leg. I've gone with half because let's face it, with the restrictions still ongoing, we might not all be in a position to eat a whole leg of lamb. So I'm going with half for this cook. So we're going to take our marinade. We're going to take a pan because we don't want this marinade going everywhere. We're just going to pop this into a pan. And then we just want to take our marinade and just pour this over that lamb. And you want to get it in all those incisions you've just made, that diamond pattern we just made. You want to get that as far into those slices, those cuts as possible, because this is all flavour. We're just going to do the same just around here, just slice through that skin, through that fat, just to allow that marinade to just get in there, and of course to help the fat render. So again, on this side, go in with some of that. Use your hands, best tools for the job always, and just make sure we've covered all of the meat and all of the fat. And there we go, there's the lamb marinated, ready to go. You can leave this overnight if you want. I'm just going to cook it, I'm hungry, so I'm going to set that to one side, go and wash my hands, show you how we've set up the barbecue and show you how we're going to monitor the cook. So I always say for any cooks where you're going to leave it in for a length of time and you want to keep an eye on the temperature, I like to use my Thermapen Smoke. Now this has 2 probes, one goes into the meat to tell you the internal temperature of your meat, one goes onto your barbecue, onto the grate to tell you the temperature of your barbecue, so you know what temperature you're cooking it at. The good thing about the smoke is it comes with this little receiver as well, which means you don't have to be sat by the barbecue monitoring it the whole time. You can just wander off. If you want to go and have a beer, you need to go indoors, just take this with you and it'll show you the temperatures of your meat and the barbecue without you having to go out to the barbecue. So how handy is that? So we're going to use this today. With lamb, personal preference, you can cook it to medium rare, medium, well done. I know a lot of people prefer it probably a bit more to the well done side, medium to well done. I'm going to cook this to about a medium today, just under medium. So I'm aiming for internal temperature, probably around about 56, 57, 58 degrees. Anywhere around there is fine with me, maybe even 60. So we're going to get the probes into the meat and then get that into the barbecue. I'm using the Kamado Joe Classic 3 for today's cook. How I've set it up, I've cleared out the old ash, filled it up with new charcoal, got that lit, got a little fire going, closed down the door, we've opened up the bottom vent, the top vent, brought it up to 200 degrees with the heat deflectors in the middle position, because if they're in the lower position, that's more for low and slow cooking. Middle position is if you're going to be roasting, baking, you want it at around 200 degrees Celsius. Stick them on the accessory rack, so that allows it to get hotter, quicker, and a nice even cook. Got a chunk of cherry wood in there for the smoke, so let's crack on and cook. So we've just been enjoying a beer while away from the barbecue, using the smoke to keep an eye on the temperatures. But while that's cooking, we're going to make ourselves a very quick and easy mint salsa verde. So we have the pot, and we've got the roasted red pepper and harissa marinade. We've put most of that into a tub. We've left some of it in there because we're happy for that to go in our salsa verde. Now we want mint, of course. Mint goes well with lamb, so we're just going to pull the leaves off of these mint stalks and chuck them in. We're going to go in with a bit of parsley, so again we're just going to rip some of that off. Not as much parsley as mint, probably about half the parsley to mint, so in that goes. We are going to want some anchovies for the saltiness, for the little bit of umaminess. So we're going to go in with 1, 2, 3 anchovies. Obviously a little bit of red wine vinegar, just to balance things out. We'll start off with a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And we'll give it a taste. Now, keeping on the theme, using this Harissa Rub, we're going to put a tiny bit in there, just to kind of marry it up with the lamb nicely. So we're going to go in with a couple of teaspoons of that, maybe a tablespoon. And of course, we want some oil. There we go. So we're going to go in with a good few glugs of this, then we're going to blend it, and we're going to just keep adding oil until we get the consistency that we're after. So in we go with a good few glugs of that. Onto the blender, a little tiny bit of salt, and a pinch of pepper. Just stir that in there, and that's that done. So that couldn't be easier, could it? So once the lamb's done, we're going to rest it. We're going to get some of the salsa verde on with it. We're going to boil some potatoes with a little bit of mint and butter. It's going to be beautiful. But in the meantime, we're just going to drink beer, keep an eye on our temperatures using the Thermapen Smoke. So I'll see you again when it's done. So just a quick recap: harissa lamb from Smoke Club with some red peppers and oil and some mint for the marinade. We've used the Thermapen Smoke to monitor the temperature of the meat and of the barbecue, and we've used the Thermapen just to make sure that we've got the probe in an accurate place. This has resulted in some perfect looking lamb. I mean, just take a look at it. So let's take a little slice of that perfect medium bit of lamb with a bit of that salsa verde on, and just see if we've nailed it. We have nailed it. That's unreal, absolutely unreal. The marinade, you've got these lovely little charred bits on there, give you a nice bit of crunch, and you get that slight smoky flavour, not too much. We use a tiny bit of cherry wood, so not too much. It's cooked to perfection, and I always say it's not the skill of the cook, it's the tools that the cook is using, and in this case the Thermapen has done me proud, because that is perfect. The salsa verde, again with some of that red pepper marinade, just to kind of marry it all together. A bit more of the harissa rub, and then plenty of mint. You've got a nice good hit of mint in there as well. The anchovies give you that little bit of saltiness, a little bit of brininess. Honestly, that's an absolute winner. So please, please, definitely give this one a go, because I'm telling you now, you will not be disappointed. On a Smoke and Elk, thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon.